So in this video, we're going to talk about the Revelation presentation and like what it means and how it stood out to us.
So look, if you go on here.
Okay, so it talks about how the seals of the.
And then the Quizlet has.
Oh darn. Yep, let's go start again. Just lost everything. I just.
Oh, here, it's okay. I can keep going. Well, the seven seals, like I had no idea what seven seals were. They were just like Revelation. I just knew it was the Apocalypse book, and it was a book that like had like the destruction of the world in it. But I didn't realize like it had so many details to like what is going to happen when it's the second coming of Christ, and before that, and what we're supposed to be doing. So the first seal is the white horse, and it says it represented Christ, but others disagreed with it. I was just kind of confused, like, if it represented Christ, like, why is it the first seal? If Christ is supposed to come after, we're supposed to, like, cleanse ourselves, and the humanity is going to be destroyed, and our souls, like, go to heaven, so.
And then so the second seal is the red horse representing the war against the people of Christ, and I think that's, like, I don't know, it's pretty important because like people, especially like in that time, who were going against God and like conflicting views, so that's kind of like an interesting seal to go off of.
Well, I seem like that's like kind of a, I don't know, foreshadowing of the future, just like how many people are like persecuting other religions and everything.
Especially now today, like even there's still people, like even Christians who are being persecuted for their faith, so it's still like a big problem and issue.
I also like how these seals talk about the colors, like how the first seal was white, the second seal is red, the third seal is black, and the fourth seal is green. Those colors represent the meaning, the underlying meaning. So like white represents Christ because it's the new Christ that comes up. Second seal is red, and that's for war, obviously because of famine and war and blood. And black represents famine, just like, I don't know, the black bubonic plague. But it says like Christ will also, take care of us through all of these.
Yeah, this just like kind of makes me wonder like what the author, I don't remember who the author was of this. Oh, John of Patmos, like the implied author, like why he thought he needed to put colors and like horses and all this like symbolic stuff like to it.
But it does like make sense, I think.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it's just like why would God give him like these symbols that like in his visions instead of like something else just more direct, like I don't know.
And also the author had to put it into context, so, or when talking to the audience of that time era, like they don't have a grasp or knowledge of what could happen and what will happen, and so to put it into color form is just is more visual.
I don't know, I just think like, I thought like reading just some of this like Revelation book, I just thought it was like kind of like a horror movie, just really graphic and creepy. And
but there's really like
there's so much underlying meaning to it. Yeah.
In the wisdom presentation, we were going to talk about the book of Psalms and how like we really thought it relates to us. So.
Well, I just thought it was really great that the presentation had the video of that cute little girl that like started it off and how she memorized it, and even though she probably didn't exactly mean what the words know what the words mean, but it just stood out that Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and it just makes you want to like kind of like ask yourself what it does really mean, and that's what they went to in the rhetorical explanations later.
Yeah, and I think something that about like what the text literally said that really stood out was like Psalms are usually a cry for help, and it's so true. Like we hear Psalms like Easter, Christmas, like services, and I think it's really important that like I don't know, the Psalms are really easy to relate to, and it's kind of like praise, worship, but also like when you need guidance or thankful. So there's like a lot of ways it can like be present in our daily lives.
Also, if we look at verse 5, it says, Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. That just shows the embodiment of the confirmation as well as our faith, at where we should be in our faith level. Because it says, my cup runneth over. Well, it's making an allusion towards how the cup represents what we are as individuals, how much we can hold, and what's overflowing is the love of God and the love of Christ. in this passage. And so what we should be filled with is filled to the brim, almost overflowing with God's Christ.
Also, I feel like after this presentation in Mass, like I go to Mass every weekend, and I felt like I didn't exactly listen to the Psalms as much because it was always in Psalm. But like when they played the video of the lady singing it and everything, I was actually listening to the words instead of listening to the music.
They really like speak things that are happening. I don't know. I think so too. And also, like, as the people that presented, like, the information, they said, like, to not fear about our future, and it's kind of like a stay calm, kind of like comforting way. I think it's really true. That's why Psalms are so easily, like, they're pretty easy to understand and interpret.
Well, the next part in their presentation was the Proverbs, and I've actually never read anything in Proverbs. I just didn't know what the book was, so like I never opened it up. But just I think last year I had physics with Mr. Lawrence. Any of you with that? Physics, no, words of wisdom, and that was every day. And it was Proverbs, and it just like does give us a lot of advice about our life, and just makes it really applicable to just life situations that we have today.
The love that they shared together. I see God in that.
It's just a different way to look at it. So, like when a speaker comes up, like a reading from Psalms or something comes up during Mass, they like speak it, but I really think seeing it in song form, like when someone's singing it, the meaning changes somehow. It becomes much more relatable to what's in your life.
Yeah, like when you said like your favorite like song was it, and it's like if you just speak it instead of singing it, like there's definitely like emotion tied into like the way you feel.
Yeah. Well, it just feels like you know the words to your favorite song. It's just like, well, if you like start reading the Bible and just knowing the words, like you'll like realize your favorite Bible verses and what they mean to you in your life. Like there's reasons we know like our favorite songs because like they impact to us in our life, or they're just like catchy and just something we like.
So Jesus, when he came down from
so some of the questions that we're supposed to look at is what does God reveal to us about himself in Psalms and Proverbs, and what does he reveal to us about ourselves, and how do we respond to his love when we read these?
I mean, I don't know. I think he just really reveals like the comfort and guidance and just the way that we can like see him and go to him and like feel him and worship and through words.
Right, but we call something when
And, like
Jesus came
emotions
down,
as well.
we